Right now on Good Morning America, first look, a potentially historic ice and snowstorm on the way. Emergency resources deployed, people on alert from Texas to the Carolinas into the Northeast. Elsewhere, wind chills plunging to 50 below zero. And now the Red Cross warning about a severe blood supply shortage linked to the weather.
Breaking overnight, Air Force One forced to turn around on President Trump's flight to Europe because of a technical issue on board.
The settlement in a landmark lawsuit claiming social media companies are getting teenagers addicted to their apps, causing depression and mental health problems.
New images of the second deadly train crash in 3 days in Europe. How a little girl was able to survive the collision that killed more than 40 people.
Emotions high in court as West Wing actor Timothy Busfield is released in his child sex abuse case. What his wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, is now saying.
Later, a surprise for travelers, why more hotels are getting rid of bathroom doors.
Plus, a new message from Dolly Parton.
And one TikTok creator's big break, inspiring a TV commercial. Now, other companies are lining up.
Good and nice.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Battah. We begin with a winter storm that could be historic later this week, impacting much of the country.
From the deep south to the northeast, emergency officials are on alert for ice and snow that could limit travel and make an already brutal stretch of weather even more brutal. This morning, the South bracing for a major winter storm that could bring record-breaking snow and dangerous ice. Forecasters warning of a widespread, potentially catastrophic event from Texas to the Carolinas. Snow and freezing rain expected to move in Friday before pushing east over the weekend. The governor of Texas already activating emergency response resources, hoping to prevent a repeat of the devastating storm that led to widespread power outages back in 2021. ERCOT, which handles electricity for most of the state, says it's confident this time the grid will hold.
We have faster response reliability services. We have better coordination among the state agencies, and we have more transparency for the public.
All this comes as a brutal Arctic blast grips nearly half the country.
You hear everybody tell you they're very, very cold, but keep moving and later up.
Feel like temperatures plunging to the single digits in New York and Boston. Parts of the upper Midwest could see wind chills of 50 below zero.
Dress in layers that trap heat, cover exposed skin, limit your time outdoors, and actually try to avoid alcohol, which can increase heat loss.
Natural gas prices now soaring with the frigid weather set to last through the weekend. The bitter cold even impacting the nation's blood supply. The Red Cross declaring a severe shortage, in part because so many blood drives had to be canceled due to recent storms and freezing temperatures. Recent storms have left road salt in short supply. Some areas are now mixing salt with water.
The other big story this morning, President Trump forced to return to Maryland overnight and take a different plane to Europe because of a glitch on Air Force One. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
Overnight, Air Force One forced to turn back mid-flight, returning to Maryland. The White House says the plane suffered a minor electrical issue during President Trump's flight to Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. Trump forced to switch planes. A pool reporter says the lights in the press cabin went off briefly after takeoff. Before his initial departure, the president signed an executive order aimed at bringing down housing costs, which he'll discuss at the forum today. The measure looks to stop Wall Street investors from buying up single-family homes, which could instead be purchased by American families.
Over the last 4 or 5 years, I think America is short essentially like 4 million homes, and that's translating into real affordability issues.
One recent report found the 5 largest institutional investors owned about 300,000 homes, or nearly 2% of all single-family rentals. The review also noted cities like Atlanta, Dallas, Charlotte, and Houston had the largest concentration of rentals owned by investors. But Trump's speech today is set to be overshadowed by his push to take over Greenland, which is rattling global financial markets and unnerving U.S. allies.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Canada's prime minister now urging smaller countries to stand together, warning the old world order is not coming back.
There is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along, to accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't.
Amid threats of a new trade war, the president yesterday downplaying tensions with European leaders.
They get a little bit rough when they're, when I'm not around. But when I'm around, they treat me very nicely.
At his wide-ranging news conference, Trump also discussing the immigration crackdown in Minnesota, saying this about the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an ICE officer.
You know, when the woman was shot, I felt terribly about that. And I understand both sides of it. But when she was shot, there was another woman that was screaming shame, 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 right? You saw it so loud, like a professional opera singer.
The president holding up images of people he says were violent criminals now under arrest, touting ICE's success while acknowledging agents can make mistakes.
You know, they're dealing with rough people.
And now the Justice Department issuing subpoenas to top officials in Minnesota accused of obstructing federal law enforcement. Governor Tim Walz dismissing the investigation as political theater. As for the president's housing proposal, some analysts say it's unlikely to significantly ease the affordable housing shortage, saying the order does not address other issues like the shortage of new building projects and construction costs. Hannah, Sophie.
Lionel, thank you. The CEO of Amazon says consumers are now seeing the effect of President Trump's tariffs in the form of higher prices. He says many sellers are now out of inventory that they built up before the tariffs took effect. The president says the tariffs will help bring manufacturing back to the U.S.
A settlement has been reached in a major lawsuit claiming social media companies are getting teenagers addicted to their apps. One of the companies now striking a deal. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Yeah, Hannah, good morning to you. The social media platform Snap has become the first tech company to settle that lawsuit. A trial is scheduled to begin next week for the other defendants, including TikTok, Meta, and YouTube. Now, the plaintiffs claim the features the company used, like infinite scrolling and autoplay video, they cause depression and eating disorders and lead to self-harm among kids. The case in question was brought by a 19-year-old who claims the social media platforms left her addicted and damaged her mental health. Now, Snap says it's pleased to have been able to resolve the matter, but the terms of the settlement were not made public. And social media companies have long argued that the Communications Decency Act protects them from being held liable for what third parties post. And they deny being responsible for depression and eating disorders. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to testify at that trial. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you for that report. Investigators are looking into this helicopter crash in Utah. The chopper went down in the mountains east of Salt Lake City. 4 people were on board. One suffered a critical head injury. The helicopter was in the air for just about 10 minutes before crashing.
Closing arguments are today at the trial of a former police officer accused of not responding quickly enough to the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. One witness claims the officer may have suffered from tunnel vision.
The fate of former Uvalde school police officer Adrian Gonzales will soon be in the hands of a jury. Gonzales was first on the scene at the Robb Elementary massacre in 2022. He's charged with 29 counts of child endangerment or abandonment, one for each of the 19 children killed and 10 others who survived. Prosecutors say Gonzales did not follow his training and failed to delay or stop the shooter. But his lawyers say he's being scapegoated, arguing he was one of the first officers to enter the school and that he evacuated children as other police arrived. The defense calling former San Antonio police officer Willie Cantu to the stand. He testified Gonzales could have suffered from so-called tunnel vision when he responded to the shooting.
It's like when you get stressed, I'm late for work and I need to find my keys to my car. I can't find my keys. And you have them in your hand.
Cantu casting doubt on the reliability of a teacher's aide who says she tried to warn Gonzales about the location of the shooter.
I just kept pointing, he's going in there, he's going to the 4th grade building.
When you told the officer to go in, did he go in?
No.
What did he do?
Yes, he just stayed there.
Cantu responding to that testimony.
She was definitely there, experienced all the trauma that was going on. But people process that type of stuff differently.
Some victims' family members speaking outside court, demanding Gonzales be held responsible.
He had duties and responsibilities that he did not act on.
He could have been a hero that day, a total hero, not an imaginary hero.
If convicted, Gonzales could face life in prison.
Time now for your Wednesday forecast.
Good morning. One more frigid morning from the Midwest into the Northeast before a brief thaw. Wind chill single digits, even sub-zero. Get closer to freezing from Chicago to New York in the afternoon hours. Otherwise, fairly quiet weather map before another Arctic blast moves in late week. This one's even stronger. Bumps into Gulf and Pacific moisture. Have a big storm from the plains into the mid-Atlantic. That could mean significant icing. We have a winter storm watch in the Arklatex. The icing breaks out Friday evening. The snows are going to make it toward the mid-Atlantic over the weekend, maybe even to the Northeast by the end of the weekend. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, a new message from Dolly Parton.
But first, the second deadly train crash in 3 days. How a little girl was able to survive.
Plus, West Wing actor Timothy Busfield is released from custody in his child sex abuse case. What his wife is now saying. We're back with another deadly rail accident in Spain just days after a train collision left 42 people dead. This time, a Barcelona commuter train crashed when a retaining wall fell onto the tracks, killing the driver and injuring more than 30 people. Meanwhile, a survival story from Sunday's rail tragedy in southern Spain. A 6-year-old girl walking away with just minor injuries. She managed to escape through a broken window and was found barefoot on the tracks.
Unbelievable. Now to a victory in court for a TV actor and his famous wife standing by him.
This morning, West Wing actor Timothy Busfield has been released from jail as he awaits trial on child sex abuse allegations. Prosecutors failing to convince a New Mexico judge that Busfield poses an ongoing danger.
There's a pattern of his conduct.
The judge allowing Busfield to leave the state, but ordering no unsupervised contact with anyone under 18. His wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, visibly emotional. Busfield is accused of inappropriately touching 2 child actors he directed on the set of the TV show The Cleaning Lady. He denied the allegations in this video obtained by TMZ.
And I'm going to be exonerated.
His lawyers have submitted audio recordings in which they claim the alleged victim said Busfield did not touch them in private areas. Busfield's lawyers argued the boys' parents have a history of fraud and wanted revenge for the boys being recast on the show. But prosecutors claim Busfield has a history of predatory behavior and say it was a therapist, not the parents, who alerted authorities.
The parents are not the ones making these allegations. The kids didn't even disclose to their parents. They disclosed to a neutral third party.
A top staffer on The Cleaning Lady testified the boys would not have been left alone on the set.
There was at minimum of 10 people there on the set with them.
Outside court, Melissa Gilbert grateful for the judge's ruling.
It means I'm getting to hold my husband in a few hours. I haven't seen him since he got in the car to drive here. Forgive me if I get emotional. I want to thank all of the friends, the co-workers who've worked with Tim, our relatives, people who have been coming out of the woodwork, showering us with so much love.
Busfield's lawyers say they're optimistic he'll be found not guilty.
Coming up, the bad tuna mistakenly shipped across the country.
Also ahead, one TikTok creator's big break, inspiring a TV commercial. Now other companies are lining up.
We're back with a health alert about 2 varieties of tuna linked to botulism. The FDA says the shipments of the tuna recalled a year ago were mistakenly sent to stores. The Genova yellowfin tuna was sent to these grocery chains in 9 states from coast to coast. The recall stems from faulty lids, which could allow contamination.
On Capitol Hill, House Republicans are moving a step closer to holding Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress. They're expected to approve 2 resolutions today after the Clintons defied subpoenas linked to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The Clintons insist they had no personal knowledge of Epstein's crimes. The resolutions will set the stage for a vote in the full House. If they're found in contempt, the Clintons could be prosecuted.
Now to a TikTok creator getting a big break, making big money, and not just going viral, but taking the national stage on behalf of Dr. Pepper.
From TikTok,
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
To a national TV commercial with an audience of tens of millions. TikTok creator Romeo Bingham shared the initial jingle idea last month, saying it was posted impulsively. But soon the jingle went viral.
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's so cold out.
Some making remixes.
Dr. Pepper, baby.
this mom using it to comfort her baby.
It's good and nice.
Subway, Popeyes, and Wingstop were among the many big brands who reached out as the original video racked up 40 million views. The real Dr. Pepper also responding, writing, "Hold on, you might be onto something."
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice.
Well, that something turned out to be a TV commercial on one of sports' biggest nights.
Deciding to make the ad had to be an easy decision for Dr. Pepper, but actually pulling it off as quickly as they did within a month of the clip going viral, that's hard. That takes a lot of pieces working in concert.
Dr. Pepper licensed the jingle for this ad during the College Football National Championship.
That's a big game. That's a big audience. That time comes at a premium, and Dr. Pepper capitalized on it.
The 25-year-old soaking in the moment.
And the award for Best National Championship Commercial about Dr. Pepper goes to Romeo and Dr. Pepper!
And cashing in. Bingham now has snagged another partnership deal.
Vita Coco, you'll go loco, cause it's so dang delicioso. Boom, boom.
I love the ending. The boom, boom, da-da-da. Yeah, Dr. Pepper, by the way, says it'll soon be working with Bingham again on even more content. And the Super Bowl is right around the corner.
Oh, I can't wait. Coming up, why more hotels are getting rid of bathroom doors.
Plus, the special shades worn by the president of France during his big speech. Do-do-do. Time to check the pulse. We begin with some pricey sunglasses stealing the show at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, French President Emmanuel Macron wore them during his speech, leaving the world wondering why he chose to wear aviators indoors. Turns out he's suffering what he called an unsightly red and puffy eye, but he said the condition is harmless. Next, a new effort to get people talking across the political divide.
It's called the Party Line. 2 old-school payphones are now set up, one in liberal San Francisco, the other in conservative Abilene, Texas. They can only call the other phone. This project is meant to spark dialogue between strangers with different views in hopes of better understanding one another. Next, Dolly Parton posting a new video thanking her fans.
Saying she's thankful for all the birthday wishes she got Monday.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes. And I hope I live another 80 years. But I hope I've still got my plastic surgery in line. Oh, Lord, I've outlived so many plastic surgeries.
She always keeps it real. Her gift to fans is a star-studded remake of her 1977 single, Light of a Clear Blue Morning. Next, Naomi Osaka making waves at the Australian Open.
Osaka glided onto the court with this head-turning outfit, the flowing pleats and parasol giving jellyfish vibes. She says she was inspired by a book she read to her daughter. And finally, a story that is hard to believe.
The Wall Street Journal reports more hotels are doing away with bathroom doors. It's apparently to cut costs. The doors are being replaced with glass dividers or curtains.
One Marriott customer said she's been married for decades, but does not care to see her husband using the bathroom. Makes me wonder if these types of couples will opt for separate hotel rooms next time. But some boutique hotel chains say that provides for better ventilation.
I kind of like a door.
Me too.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories. The Supreme Court hears arguments today stemming from President Trump's effort to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. The administration accuses her of mortgage fraud, but she has not been charged with a crime. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is attending today's arguments.
A pension fund in Denmark is dumping $100 million worth of U.S. treasuries, blaming, quote, poor government finances in the U.S. An investment officer denies the move is related to President Trump's push to take over Greenland.
The measles outbreak in South Carolina is spreading, with 88 new cases since Friday. Hundreds of people are in quarantine.
And there were cheers as former baseball stars Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones learned they've been elected to the Hall of Fame. They'll be inducted in July.
Today's weather, dry in the west, snow from the plains to New England, rain from Texas to the Midwest. That area and the rest of the southeast is preparing for a major winter storm Friday.
And finally, saying goodbye to an old friend.
Here's Danny New.
This past week in San Francisco, thousands gathered outside of an aquarium to celebrate its most famous alligator.
He was this sort of charismatic sort of oddity that really connected with people.
His name was Claude, and as you can see, Claude was one of the world's roughly 100 albino alligators.
Happy birthday!
You may remember our story on Claude in September, just after the California Academy of Sciences' most famous resident turned 30 years old. Sadly, he passed away in December, but after being seen by around 22 million people in 17 years there, the team knew he needed to be honored properly. First off, since he's from Louisiana, they brought in a second-line band, which was joined by Giants mascot Lucille. Also, as you can see, there were plenty of other costumes, too, with people wearing an entire swamp's worth of carnivorous headgear. And let's not forget this 8-foot-long sourdough Claude, which, according to aquarium senior director Bart Shepard, was not edible since...
From what I was told is it wasn't completely cooked all the way through. And, they wanted it to stay white when they baked it and not turn brown.
By the way, during the time for speeches at the podium, Bart actually brought out a prop.
And here's the shoe.
This shoe that Claude once consumed and had removed after a young patron accidentally dropped her shoe into his tank.
She's probably 30 now or close.
And speaking of personal tributes, Bart says perhaps the most touching moment was when a 6-year-old with albinism named Della came to pay her respects to someone who meant a great deal to her.
She thought of herself as his little sister.
So, guys, Bart was there the day they got Claude in 2008 and spent a lot of time with him in the past year. And when I asked about his personality, he described Claude as, quote, a bit of a diva. Well, he was their big star. Come on.
So much love for Claude.
A total star.
That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day, everyone.